Hi, I'm Peter Rose, founder of Longwood Currency Trading. How's your trading going, your Forex trading? How long have you been doing it? What's your expectation? What sort of background do you come from? In other words, what are the factors in your life, not just trading, but what are the factors in your life, number one, that brought you to trade Forex, and what life skills or technical skills like education or whatever do you bring to the table in your Forex trading? You know, what I found is that I'm a pretty educated guy. I got a bachelor's in physics, almost a minor in math. Did 33 years as a software engineer, so I've kind of been around the corner on that. So and I look around at the failures in Forex that I've had, and just being bright doesn't have anything really to do with it. In fact, I kid my students sometimes because I'll be talking to somebody who has a technical background like I do. They're an engineer or something, and we're our own worst enemy, being technical and having a technical background, because we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to solve the problem, try to figure all this out, have it make sense. Well, it doesn't make sense, and there's no real solving it. You just trade. And it's very difficult for someone with a rigorous academic or technical background to accept that and just trade. And they say, well, I spent 40 years in real estate, and I was able to retire a millionaire from that. So I had the advantage. I had money to do stuff. That can work against you too, because I got into the market thinking that I knew what I was doing, and funded my first large account with $45,000 and lost $40,000 of that very quickly. So having money to start doesn't help at all. I think that as an individual, you have to really look at what your strengths are, and you do have strengths. If you're looking at the Forex market, you've got interest in the world. You've got a desire to better yourself. You want to make money. You want to build wealth, and you're not going to be a neurosurgeon or invent the latest donut maker or vaccine or be an architect and design some. I mean, that's not in the cards for us, or we'd already be there. So that we found something. If you go to my website, longwoodcurrencytrading.com, and you go to the currency trading page, there are 7 reasons that I list why I chose the Forex market to trade in. And I go way back. I'm old. So I've been looking at the general financial markets since the mid-1970s. I've traded stock options. I've done a little stock investing or whatever. I've looked at commodities. I've been looking at the Forex market since 2007. And as I said, I did 40 years of real estate. So I have kind of a broad view of things. And here's 7 reasons why I think the Forex market is the best. You just can't beat the Forex market for your ability to start with a small amount of money, learn your craft, and as you sell your truck, and instead of taking all the money and buying another truck, take $1,000 of that and stick it into your trading account. Instead of going out for lunch 3 days a week from your job, pack a lunch in and save that money. And every month take another $50 or $100 and put that in your trading account. If you're looking for bigger things, you simply have to get at least $1,000 together, so that when you lose, if you lose too much, it's going to cost you a pizza, and that hurts. So the whole thing that I work with, or insist on the folks that are learning how to trade from me, is don't lose a pizza. And make that pizza the thrust of a catastrophic loss. Because if that's as bad as it gets when you're trading $1,000 account for one mini lot, don't trade micros with $100. I mean, you lose 10 cents and you make 10 cents, and you know what? That's fine for the guy that's online, that's been trading for 10 or 15 years, and he's just dicking around, showing you how to take a $200 account to 2,000, and then you put that money in the bank, and then you start over with 200 and you make 2,000. He's got time to do that. He's got the expertise to do it. And that's not how he's making his livelihood. He's trading a $50,000 account or six-figure account or whatever. All these folks are trying to do that are trading small like that is there's hope for you. You can take a small amount of money and turn it into larger and larger amounts of money. The problem is that once you get up to an account of $10,000, let's say, and you're still trading it that same way, it doesn't work. And it particularly doesn't work once you get up into trading 3 full lots or 8 full lots or whatever. I've traded 25, 30 lot positions, and I've traded small lot, but never below the $1,000 level. But I'm just telling you that your thought process is totally different, and the consequences of that thought process is totally different when you're trading under about a $3,000 account with that of trading real money, where you're going to make real money to replace your job income. See, I'm only working with people that want to replace their job income, not screw around with a $1,000 account or $500 account or whatever it is, or even a $3,000 account. You're just not going to replace your job income. You see these guys, and they're taking $200 and running it to $1,000 or $2,000, but they're at 200 to 1 leverage or 500 to 1 leverage. That's crazy. That's like taking a gun and putting a bullet in the chamber and spinning the chamber, and eventually you're going to get tagged and you're going to lose everything. They can do it because they have the experience. You can't do it because you don't have that experience. I mean, that's part of the issue of education. If you don't know how to educate people, if you don't know how to teach, then you're going to try to show them what you do. And that isn't the game. I don't teach people what I do. I teach people what I did to establish consistency and all that other stuff. But once you get a certain amount of money, your mindset has to be trained to look at that not as a $10,000 account, but as a $100,000 account. So you have to learn how to think big and treat that small account the same way you would a really large account. Because someday you'll be trading a large account and you need to have those skills dialed in. If you're going to learn how to sail a boat, you learn how to sail a small boat first, because if you sit on the wrong side or stand up at the wrong time, they're going to tip the boat over. Oh, but I'm going to sail, World Cup level boats. Yeah, but you got to learn how to sail first. But you're sailing not to sail the small boat. You're sailing to learn skills so that when you get put into a large boat, you know all the things that you need to do. And you need to know how bad it can get. You can tip a little small sailboat over very easily just by standing on the side of the boat the wrong way. When you get on a larger boat, you'd say, oh, I can't tip this over. No, but a 20-foot rogue wave could. Flip it just as easy as you standing on the gunnel of a small boat. So what you do in the small bank that you have has to reflect the same thing that you do if it was a $100,000 bank. Not, I'm going to take this small bank and I'm going to make $2,000 from the 500. You have to change the way that you think. And then it starts to be fun. You lose a pizza and you go, oh shit, man, I don't want to lose a pizza. That's horrible. That's the way you got to think. So how is your trading going is a reflection on how you feel about what you're doing. If you got your shorts in a twist because you're not making much progress on taking your $200 to $800, you're wasting your time fretting over that, because you're not going to take $20,000 to $80,000 or $800,000 or whatever that is, that differential. Because it isn't that the rules change, is that our view of it and our experience with real life risk management. It's all about risk management. If you're not feeling comfortable with your trading, or you're not getting out of the trading what you want to get out of it, it's probably because you don't really understand risk management. It's you're looking at expectations that you don't have the skill to sign the check for that. There are steps that you go through. I'm sorry. If you want to be a champion swimmer, you've got to swim laps. And you're not going to start out swimming 20 laps. Everything that you want to become an expert at, you have to start out slowly and gradually. I studied classical guitar for 2.5 years. I started out with the Segovia scales. Just play these scales, Pop. Just play the scales. What you have to understand is that by learning the scales in music, they set the foundation for the songs that you couldn't even begin to play right now. In trading, there's certain skills that you develop, certain technical exercises that you do, or that I show my students. I don't know what you're being shown or what you think you're supposed to be doing, but you're needing to learn some basic skills and things that are fun to do, so that they remain fun to do when you're trading a $30,000 or $50,000 account. You're not going to replace your job income on a $10,000 or $20,000 account, probably not even a $30,000 account. Would an extra $1,000 or $2,000 against the $10,000 income, would that help? Well, it's more that you're going to get swapping, fixing up cars and swapping them, or anything. Your boss isn't going to give you $1,000 more. If I'm making $100,000 a year as a software engineer, which I was doing, I was making 6 figures. Did I expect a $10,000 or $15,000 raise every year? Did I expect a $10,000 or $15,000 bonus? No, you get 3% bonus. Okay, so you make $100,000 a year, get 3%, you get $3,000. You're tickled to death with that. So why don't you look at the trading as just a 3% bonus on your current job income? Well, strive for that. Wouldn't that be a great thing? And then as you make that money, don't spend it, put it back in the account, make that account grow. You're not trying to make a $200 account grow, you're trying to make a $10,000 account grow, or a $20,000 account. So you have a $10,000 account, you make $500 a year. Do you know how easy it is to make $500 a year on a $10,000 account? You could do that in a day. The issue that we have, I think, me included, is that we sometimes set our expectations that are disconnected from the reality of what's possible and what we're capable of. Somewhere along the line, you have to line up what you're capable of with what's possible, and see if there aren't some rules that you can develop in order to bridge that gap, to make what you want into what you have. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day, and have a great trading day.